is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Yo, boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Video number 2 of the day. So we'd really appreciate the support, you guys. Smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe as we push for 5,000 subscribers. Now, we're going to rock and roll on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Found me an oldie but goodie, my Bam Adebayo gold Miami Heat jersey. Technically, it's yellow, but look, we're not going to go ahead and do that now. We're going to stay positive. We're going to stay happy. Why? Because today is another series of the Miami Heat player profile. Now, if you're just tuning in, if this is your first time watching the episode, just to give you a quick description, you guys, the month of August for basketball sunks donkey nuts. There's literally nothing to talk about. No updates. I did a video earlier today about the possibility of the Miami Heat getting Anthony Edwards. If you haven't seen that video, when you're done with this one, go check that one out. Thought that one was a good one. Now, we're back in the player profiles today, and what this is, you guys, is for the month of August, I'm going to be doing individual videos for Miami Heat players where I explain where I feel that where they can help this team, maybe possibly even hurt the team. This episode is going to be a positive one because it's going to be about a guy that can actually help us. Today we're talking about Haywood Highsmith. Done a few videos on Haywood Highsmith in the past, not really one about this. Now, I'm a little torn because today's episode was supposed to be on Duncan Robinson. But I remembered about a week and a half ago, specifically on July 26th, I posted a 9-minute video talking about Duncan Robinson, where I was asking you guys if y'all thought that this was the last year Duncan Robinson was going to be with this team because he's on the final year of a guaranteed contract. After this year, his contract next season is only guaranteed for $9 million. So we did a great video on that. We had a great debate in the comments. We talked about the benefits of Duncan Robinson. So I really don't think I'm going to add Duncan Robinson in the player profiles. Maybe towards the end of it if we have a little time. But if you haven't seen that video, you guys, go check that out. That was on July 26th. You'll see a really cool picture of Duncan Robinson on there. We had a big breakdown of Duncan. So this episode, I want to talk about Haywood Highsmith. Because Haywood Highsmith is a guy on this team where I feel you don't know where he's going to be. Because Haywood Highsmith, his spot on this Miami Heat team has fluctuated so much over the last few years. Sometimes Haywood Highsmith is starting. Sometimes he's coming off the bench. Sometimes he's not even playing. He is the definition of a glue guy. In my opinion, it was very important and vital bringing Haywood Highsmith back. You lost Caleb Martin. So you lost one incredible wing defender. Haywood Highsmith, in my opinion, is probably the best wing defender that we have. He's 6'5". He has a 7'1" wingspan. He can guard multiple players. He's normally tasked with guarding one of the best players on the other side of the court. So Haywood Highsmith was an important player to bring back. Now, we brought him back, in my opinion, a very favorable contract, 2-year contract worth $11 million, making about $5.5 million a year. In my opinion, that was a steal. I think Highsmith could have got anywhere from $7 to $10 million in the open market. However, we saw what this market was like in the offseason. Caleb Martin took a huge hit in free agency. A lot of players did, like Tyus Jones as well, and other players also. So Haywood Highsmith actually got a pretty good value versus what some of these other players got. Now, we've seen Haywood Highsmith, and in my opinion, you guys, he's been the definition of consistency, but also development. In his 3 years with the Miami Heat, he's improved every season. He came to the Miami Heat in the 21-22 season, played about 19 games, started one game, averaged 2.3 points a game, 1.4 rebounds, 32% from the three-point line. Nothing really to brag about. His next season was the 2023 season. He averaged about 4.5 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 34% from the three-point line, at 43% from the field. Last year, I guess you can call, was kind of his breakout season. Haywood Highsmith started 26 games last year, a lot of those at the power forward position. He averaged 6.1 points a game, almost 3.5 rebounds, 1 assist, which he's never averaged before, almost a steal a game, 46.5% from the field on 5 attempts, and a whopping 40% from the three-point line on 3 attempts a game. He's developing, he's getting better every year. Another thing we need to look at, Caleb Martin is no longer with this roster anymore. So now you're going to look at guys, quality role players that we have, like Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Haywood Highsmith, to step up. But the crazy thing about Haywood Highsmith, you guys, when we talk about a 9-man rotation, some people have Highsmith in that rotation, some people do not. Haywood Highsmith is going to be fighting for that 9th spot. He's going to be fighting with a lot of players. Guys like Josh Richardson, Alec Burke, Kevin Love. Why do I name those 3 players, you guys? Because Haywood Highsmith plays multiple positions. He can play the shooting guard, the small forward, and the power forward position. Now, we've seen Highsmith start at power forward next to Bam Adebayo. That crap will not work now. We finally have bigs on this team. It's time for Highsmith to play his natural position. We've seen him start as we've seen him play as small forward. You know he's a small forward. He's, in my opinion, he's a better version of Rodney McGruger. For those Heat fans that remember McGruger, those are real Heat fans, mind you. Rodney McGruger was the man in 2017. He was another Haywood Highsmith. He was the guy that would do everything that Haywood Highsmith does. In my opinion, offensively, Highsmith is better. I've said this before, you guys, but now that we're doing a video on Haywood Highsmith, I'm going to let you guys know what I think. And you know what? Nobody else is saying this. So this is coming directly here from Miami Heat Talk. In my opinion, if you want an obsolete lineup, if you want an incredible lineup, if you want something that's going to give you great production every night, we're talking about who should start next to Terry Rozier in the backcourt. People have thrown Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. I've even mentioned Jaime Jaquez Jr. in the past. But in my opinion, if you're starting Bam Adebayo, if you're even starting Nikola Jovic and Jimmy Butler at the front court and Terry Rozier as your point guard, Haywood Highsmith would be the perfect guy to start at shooting guard. Hear me out. Haywood Highsmith averages 40% from the three-point line. He is a deadly knockdown, spot-down shooter. You see what he does when he stands in the corner. He can hit that 3. He deserves players' respect on defensive end. But secondly, Haywood Highsmith, out of Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, even Jaime Jaquez Jr., he's the best defender. He's a guy that you can put in your starting lineup, not as the power forward, for God's sakes. No. But as the starting shooting guard, with a 7'1" wingspan, he can guard multiple players, kind of like Bam Adebayo. You have 2 guys out there that can do that. The reason why it didn't work before is because you were asking Bam Adebayo and Haywood Highsmith to guard the center and the power forward. Didn't really work. It gave you a 7-game winning streak during the season, but it was against questionable teams. Now, you have Haywood Highsmith starting at shooting guard, with Bam Adebayo maybe as power forward, maybe Kel'el Ware at center. But even if you're starting Jovic and Bam, now you're having another big body out there with Jovic, and you're having Highsmith. Highsmith can make up for defensive liabilities like Jovic and sometimes Rozier. Rozier can hold his own on the defensive end. So if you have Haywood Highsmith and Terry Rozier starting, 2 guys that can, in my opinion, can average 40% from the three-point line, this is going to be a very good backcourt to start with. Then let's not forget the fact that Haywood Highsmith can also guard multiple players, but he can also guard the opposing team's best guard. So when you're playing the Memphis Grizzlies, when you're playing the Golden State Warriors, when you're playing the Dallas Mavericks, when you're playing some of these teams with elite guards, you don't, even if they're point guards, Terry Rozier doesn't exactly have to guard those guys. That could be Haywood Highsmith's job. That's why I think for this Miami Heat roster, if you have a starting rotation, look, I want Kel'el Ware to start, but he's a rookie. But if we start with Bam Adebayo, Nikola Jovic, Jimmy Butler, Haywood Highsmith, Terry Rozier, I think that's a great starting lineup. And look at these 4 guys coming off the bench. Tyler Hero as your 6th man. Jaime Jaquez Jr. as your Swiss Army knife off the bench. Duncan Robinson as your elite shooter, and Kel'el Ware as the big coming off the bench. That 9-man rotation equals dominance. And let's not forget your 10th, 11th, and 12th players sitting on the bench: Kevin Love, Alec Burks, Josh Richardson. Guys, we also have Kashad Johnson, Josh Christopher waiting in the wings with a two-way contract. This is why I love this roster for 2024. The only thing that can stop this roster is two things: injuries and Jimmy Butler's load management. So I want to hear from you, Heat Nation. What do you think about Haywood Highsmith? Where do you think Haywood Highsmith fits best on this team? Do you think my idea is good with Haywood Highsmith starting at the shooting guard? Would you like Haywood Highsmith to be the Swiss Army knife coming off the bench? Or do you think Haywood Highsmith won't even crack the rotation? This is a guy, and I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you have no idea where the hell he's going. But it's going to be interesting to watch. Let me know in the comments what you think, Heat Nation. Don't forget to like the video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel as we push for 5,000 subscribers. I hope you guys are liking these player profiles that I'm doing. It's something different. It's a different idea. Ain't no clickbait on here. We're going to have a lot of fun. Thank y'all so much for the love and support. Until next time, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said. Yeah, buddy. Let's go.